Mm-hmm. Tight, man.
All right, take care.
Take care.
Wow, we just had a Bernie, not really impersonator, but he sounded like Bernie Mac. God rest his soul.
So we just landed in Portland after 12 straight hours of travel. And Uncle Steve is here, and he's stuck because the rent-a-car is broke. He can't start the car. I like it out here, so I'm gonna take it as a good sign. I hope.
Y'all need roadside assistance?
What's up, sir? How you?
Good to see everybody. I'm feeling for your man Steve right now because he is on the phone with the dumbest people that have ever lived. We're in the car, and the key fob, it says no key detected, like it won't talk to the car, and the people are like, are you near the car, sir? Have you found the keys to the car? Steve's like, I'm in the car with the keys.
That's Steve.
Sir, we'll come pick you up. I'm in the car already. I'll give you a ride to the airport. I have to pick people up from the airport.
He get pissed, and then he hit this drum.
How you do that?
I'm in the car. That's definitely him.
Oh yeah, y'all ready?
What's taking so long,
I was just
man?
coming to get y'all. You know what I mean? We get here, we waiting for y'all, you just landed. I go in 7-Eleven, come back out, the truck won't start. We in there with the key fob, like pressing all the buttons. I'm trying to figure out how to get this thing started. Looking at videos on YouTube, all of this, and we can't find the place where it says how to start the thing. He comes out here, he finds it in the cup holder, sticks the key in there, presses on, and it starts up. I'm like, I don't want that truck anymore. I'm cool. Give me something else. I'm cool. I don't need that. Give me Old Faithful right here. This is what I'm used to. Remember I said that about Fords? I said I don't want no Ford. You remember? You was like, I'll take the Ford. Yeah, that's why. That right there.
Chevy.
You know, I came out here randomly. My homie Lee booked me for a party that he was throwing, and he was like, yo, this is really dope. You should come out and play this party. And it was just like no other place I'd ever been. Parties were cool. They were weird, but the people were into good music. The food scene was nuts. This was like 2006 or 7. I was here for 3 days. We went to like 3 of the craziest, differentest parties ever. Ate all the stuff, like went and hiked in a waterfall. So I kind of made a plan. I went home and saved up. 6 months later, I was gone. We are heading to St. John's, which used to be a completely separate city from Portland, and then Portland annexed it. It is my hood. We're gonna go. We're gonna go eat some fried chicken and waffles.
Woo! I have always let Jimmy pick where we eat because he has never. I have, knock on wood, I have never had a bad meal in Portland. Like to the point that I got mad when we didn't go back to that spot. The chicken and biscuit spot. Oh.
Yeah. If you don't bring your A game, you will go out of business. Like if you open a cart and you have like fish sandwiches and they're like, you'll just go out of business because people will be like, no, you should just go to the other place.
I was thinking like you could use this tonight, man.
Oh, man.
But my dude made real wood panels for these, so it's not like the veneer.
Oh, wow,
Like this is
okay.
actually real wood shit. But I wanted to just get it signed, man. So I brought like a fresh marker and shit, and just like get the real signature
This is the
2200.
real, yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
you can go ham bone on it, man. I'd really appreciate it. I heard that you had like a stockpile of these because like
I did.
the faders would
They would
wear out,
well,
and then you had to chuck it.
The only way that you would make these faders loose is you spray WD-40.
That was it.
I had about 6. And when one would get burnt out, I would put this up. Instead of throwing it away, I just put it up and I grab the next one. Spray WD-40 in to do it, and then after a while it'll start bleeding.
Yeah.
And you do the same thing. When I got to the 6th one, I was like, I'm in trouble, and something said go back to the first one. By the time I went back to the first one, it had dried out. I would always run it to a bigger mixer with the master and the EQ.
Yeah.
But I love the size of it. The size, the crossfader. Like, this is all I needed. It was kind of like, listen, you know. Like, I would have kept using this if I could have kept getting these. Gemini would make mixers and they would stop. And the funny thing is, it got to the point that I actually got on the phone and called Gemini. Mm-hmm. This is how the second one came.
Yeah,
the third
I
one.
I want to know all about this. I'm so
I got on the phone and I called them and I told them that I was a big fan of this mixer and I wanted to see if I could get crossfaders. You could tell that the woman on the phone didn't believe me, and I was like, listen, I'm going to drive up there. Listen, I'm in Philly. Got in the car. I put all 6 of the mixers in the bag, and we drove up there. And I walked in and told the receptionist who I was, and she looked at me, and she went in the back, and then everybody came out because they didn't expect it was me. The owner came out, pulled me in his office. We started talking, and I told him, and he introduced me to, there was a Russian guy who made this fader.
This one or the one?
It was this fader. Like, I used to love this fader.
Huh.
It was a Russian guy who made this fader, and he told me that the guy he used to get the parts from died. And he couldn't get the parts because I wanted this fader. Huh. So what they did is they replaced all of my mixers with a newer fader that wasn't as sharp as this, but it was good.
Yeah.
But they fixed all of my mixers, and they fixed them all while I waited. Like, he opened them all up, soldered new faders all on them.
That's crazy.
And then me and the owner sat down and talked about, and he was just like, hey, I want to know, how would you like to do your own mixer? And I was like, sure. You know, that was back in the day when companies didn't really talk to the people who were using it. So a lot of times they don't realize, they only look at the numbers, so they don't realize how popular something is.
They were looking at the 19-inch big mixers, and that's what's selling for clubs and stuff, and they didn't recognize like the hip hop or like battle 10-inch market. That's so ill.
This was supposed to, this was supposed to be the cheap mixer, but it was just kind of like, man, listen, this is everything you needed.
The Gemini MX2200 is an iconic mixer. You'd see it on all the DMC battles, and everybody saw it. It was pretty much the standard scratch DJ, hip hop DJ mixer for most of the mid 80s on until maybe 1990, 1991. It's a lot of the cuts you hear on albums that people did, a lot of the scratches, and seeing DJs on TV or music videos. This was the joint. It was either this or the Newmark DM 1150A in the early 90s, late 80s. But this is hip hop right here. Manufacturers weren't listening to DJs; they were listening to engineers, and they were listening to designers who actually didn't use the products. So once they started to listen to DJs, what they wanted, it allowed the DJs to make their sort of dreams and ideas come to life, and a lot of DJs did that through mods. They would modify mixers and do certain things, and then, but companies actually listening allowed a lot of the techniques that DJs developed to actually happen easier. And then what would happen is DJs would find, this mixer would come out and allows for this, and then they would find out maybe if I do it like this, I'll be able to make my idea come to life. And then the technology manufacturer would see that and hear that, and then they would incorporate that into the next model or line of mixers. So it's a sort of cycle of DJs being mainly the innovators, right, with their hands. Like, what you do with your hands is the main technology and innovation, and then it's reflected in the products. And so DJs kind of give life and meaning and technique to the products, which are just a bunch of knobs and faders and buttons. They give them identity, man.
Sink this in my honor, selfish I am.